Welcome to Hair Hero, the podcast where we dive deep into the minds of the best in the business to uncover what makes them tick and sometimes what makes them twitch. I'm your host, Ryan Whedon, founder of Masters of Balayage and creator of Masters Academy. Join me each week for impactful conversations with industry leaders, icons, influencers, and trendsetters. Get ready to be inspired, learn from the pros, and maybe even have a laugh or two. Because let's face it, if we can't have fun talking about hair, we're doing it wrong. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. I'm excited to be back today with one of my good friends, a superstar in the industry, an icon, influencer, just all around hell of a good person. Chrissy Danielle is here in the Mob Studio today. Welcome, Chrissy.
Thank you so much. What a nice entry.
That's my host voice. You know, hey, you try to be smooth as possible, and welcome to 68 Smooth Jazz, coming at you live all day long. I don't even know what I'm saying. Welcome. I'm excited to chat with you.
Me too. I'm very excited.
There's you and I taught a class not too long ago, and it literally feels like it was last year, and it feels like I'm going to be starting to write 2025 on everything now.
I know. It's crazy because I was thinking about that. I was like, I haven't seen Ryan since we taught our class, and it seems like that was a long time ago, even though it wasn't, but the year is just flying by.
Yeah, it is. And gosh, another month I'm going to see you again. And this is going to be the coolest. I mean, you've been to Hero before. You know what Hero is all about. But you're going to be on stage, rocking it, showing everybody your magic. And what are your thoughts behind all this?
Well, I'm so honored to be a part of it. And I'm so excited to, once again, share the stage with Masters Balayage and with you. And I'm just really excited. I think that Hero is like such an inspiring, like positive event in our industry. And it'll be my first time on stage there. So I'm pumped. Nice. I'm so pumped too. I mean, the lineup this year, best we've ever had. Not to discount any of the previous years, but we have even more superstars on the stage and more content. When we first did Hero 5 years ago, and I can't believe this is our 5th annual, it was a little over a day and a half. It was like a day and a half. We had maybe 3 or 4 hours on the first day, which is a Saturday, and then a full day Sunday. And now it's 2 full days. And we've got this massive after party that's going to be on the roof at this Intercontinental Hotel. And I'm just so excited for it, to see everybody. It's in my hometown. So Jenny's going to be able to see it. And Jenny has been a big part of the Heroes in the backstage and setting it up in the branding and everything. Jenny, for those of you that don't know, it's my wife, and she's the master of branding in Masters of Balayage. And she's never actually been able to go to a Hero. And this is just super exciting. I remember when I was there last time, I'm like, is Jenny going to be there? And like, no, she's home with the kids. And I'm like, so that'll be exciting. I'm so happy she's coming.
Same. I remember one year that I was on stage, and we played jokes sometimes like, oh, Jenny's coming out right now. And one time I'm like, everybody put your hands together because Jenny's here and we're going to do this. And we're all clapping. And I'm like, she's not here. And I'm looking around the corner and just kind of playing a joke. I'm like, oh, I guess she's not here. She couldn't make it. She sent us a video. It's just Hero is fun because it's serious for the achieving stylist, but it's also just a lot of fun. We get to have fun, party like hairstylists, but also have that camaraderie and meet your new best friends.
Absolutely. And the hotel looks incredible. I was looking at the website the other day and I was like, wow, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome. But let's go back to you, because I know you're going to be rocking on the stage here, and I'm excited to see you and catch up. But the cliche question that you have to ask, it's like, okay, how did you get started in hair? And I hate to ask that question, but it is funny because you get so many different answers. Some people are talking about how ever since they crawled out of the womb, they started messing with hair, with their dolls, with their mom's hair. And then other people like me, for instance, it was just kind of like an afterthought. Somebody said, hey, you tried everything else. Haven't tried hair yet? Let's see how you give it a shot. I'm like, screw it. Why not?
Yeah.
How did you get started?
So I actually took cosmetology when I was in high school, and I
honestly sure that I wanted to do it as a career. I was just kind of like, oh, cool. Like I can do hair for the last like 3 hours of school time, you know? So when I graduated high school, I had my cosmetology license. And when I graduated, I actually was not going to go into hair. So I was enrolled in college for fashion design.
Okay.
And then about a week before I was supposed to leave for college, I told my parents that I wasn't going because I had gotten a job at like the salon that I was a client at. And my hairdresser, who actually now works with me, was like a huge inspiration to me. So I like wanted to give it a shot. And my parents were I think my mom was relieved. I think my dad was like, oh my God, she's not going to go to college. She's going to be a hairdresser. And back then it wasn't how it is now. So I ended up getting a job at my salon that I was a client at. It was like my dream salon at the time. I went through about a year of training. I worked there for a couple years and then, moved on to another salon and eventually opened my own space, which eventually turned into my own salon. So it was a journey for sure. I think I always like to stress that it doesn't happen overnight. And it was a very long road of almost 18 years to get, where I'm at today. So
now you have your own salon.
Yes.
Right. And what's the name of your salon?
So I'm so original. The name of my salon is Chrissy Danielle Salon.
Okay, the Chrissy Danielle. It's a pretty name. So honestly, it fits.
I thought for the longest time, I tried to think of like something creative, and I was just like, you know what? Like my Instagram was already branded. I was like, I'm just gonna go with that because everybody knows me as that, and it stuck. So
right. It also makes you show up at a higher level because you're like, crap, my name is on the sign in the front, so I better be good, or else people are gonna like throw my name around like garbage, right?
It's like you feel like, okay, like everything walking out that door, like my name is on that door, so no messing around.
And how many years have you had it?
So I've actually had my salon for 3.5 years now. Okay. I opened 2 weeks before they shut us down here in Ohio for COVID. So
wow,
that was interesting. But, thankfully everything worked out. And, I have a smaller boutique salon. So my vision when I opened my salon was to create a space where it was a rental space and I wasn't going to be like somebody's boss per se. I wanted all of us to have, like a team environment, but be able to have that freedom that we all want as stylists of making your own hours, setting your own prices while still working in a good, like uplifting environment.
And I'm sure that's what you've created too, because that's exactly the person that you are. Both when I say on the screen with like Instagram and on the stage and also in real life, you're the same person. And so many times I see two different types of people. You got your stage presence, and then you've got the way you are in the dark, and it's not always great. I've met some people that are just some great on stage, but they might not be a very nice person everywhere else. So it's nice that you're consistent, you're authentic. I can vouch for that if anybody ever asks. And I think that's also one of the reasons why you've had this meteoric rise over the last several years. And I would love to know kind of what you think your secrets are for success, because I know you probably get asked it a lot. And it's not like you're just manifesting it. You're sitting at home and you're just praying that you're going to get more followers and things. Like, I know that you take proactive responsibility for it. So if somebody were to come up to you and like, how did you get as many followers as you do? How did you get to be on all these stages? What would you say your secret is for this overnight success? Which I know it's not overnight, but it looks like it in the scheme of things.
Well, first,
like one day you're here, and the next day you're like, boom,
well,
everywhere.
For that compliment, because first and foremost, I have always said that I've strived to be the same person that I am on Instagram in person, because I think that's really important, and I think being approachable is like just number one. So like, I guess like there's a few different things. And I would say like the secrets to my success, like I kind of feel like they're in my like everyday routine. Like I don't necessarily think it's like an exact thing I do at the salon or, you know, on Instagram, but I will say that I get up early every day. I do my workout. I feel like that gets me like motivated for the day. And I feel like you need that motivation to drive you through the day and get you through whatever it is that you're doing. Consistency. And that goes for, I think, all areas of your career and your life, but especially with Instagram, just consistency. I tell people all the time, like it took me years to build my following, but I also feel that it's doing like telling yourself, you know, whatever day it is that you want to start saying like, I'm going to commit to, even if it's 2 posts a week, like, but sticking to it. Because I've learned that like inconsistency gets you nowhere. You have to be consistent in your business and your Instagram with your clients, all of that. And then I think just always working on yourself and stepping out of your comfort zones. I find that I have the most growth personally and professionally, specifically professionally. When I find that I'm getting too comfortable or feeling uninspired, it's time to like step out of that. And that's when I notice like the biggest change for me personally. So I think another thing too is like just never be afraid of putting yourself out there, because what ultimately like exploded my Instagram was a post that I originally thought was really silly and I almost didn't post it. So just kind of like never doubt yourself, you know?
Balayage. You know, it doesn't matter how you pronounce it. Your clients just want to know that you're good at it because they're paying a lot of money for your service. Sure, you can take a class here and there, search on YouTube, learn a hack here and there on Instagram, but it's never going to be enough, because to excel at balayage, you need structured learning with experts that have been where you are and can show you how to reach your goals. Hi, I'm Ryan Whedon, founder of Masters of Balayage and one of the first balayage experts to bring modern balayage to millions. And right now, Masters Academy, the #1 online trainer for balayage artists, is now offering lifetime memberships. That's right, no more monthly payments, no more overdrafts, just a one-time payment and you can get over 100 hours of balayage and blonding tutorials on demand to watch and rewatch on your time. Our new Masters Academy lifetime membership also includes our 3 world-famous certification programs, the Balayage Masters program, the Blonde Masters program, and the Extensions Masters program. Not only do you get to own all 3 of these now, you also get Master Certified. So if you're stuck, lacking that balayage confidence, or just need an awesome excuse to raise your prices, Masters Academy is the answer. And right now, you can save $100 off any lifetime membership. Just go to www.mobmastersacademy.com and use code MYLIFE at checkout to redeem your $100 off promotion. I'm going to say it again, so go grab a pen and write this down. Go to www.mobmastersacademy.com and use code MYLIFE and redeem your promotion now.
I love that. I got a lot of takeaways from that. I actually had to write them down. So this is what you said. No, these are all great points, because so many of these are, you just nailed it. As far as I would say, like, this is what it would take for anybody to really see a big difference in their life and their growth journey. So you have to be approachable, which when you say approachable, it's probably smiling, being just a generally nice person. You almost like you're a friend, even if you've never actually met somebody before, right? That people feel comfortable coming up to you and be like, "Hey, Chrissy, I just wanted to talk to you," and feel okay doing that, so that you're not going to be like talk down to anybody. Right? Yeah. Nobody wants to talk to a mentor or somebody they've looked up to for years and feel like degraded after that experience.
I think that, like, for me, which this will probably make you laugh. I feel like everyone laughs when I tell them this, but like when I'm at hair shows and stuff and people approach me, because I don't think I will ever get used to that. Like people like actually know what I'm about. I will never get used to it. But usually the first thing out of my mouth is like, you want to talk to me, or like, you want a picture? Like, I'm not that cool, but okay. And I think like, it's just being that like real person, because like the way I see it is like, I don't think I'm better than anyone. I think it's just that I love what I do. I share what I do, and it worked out for me, you know?
Right.
But anyone's capable of that. And I think being approachable is like one of the biggest keys to success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That reminds me, I was at a hair show, one of our first, actually our first time we were at a booth in Premier, Orlando for Masters of Balayage. We had a booth there, and a lot of people knew me just like they know you. And I was, people were coming up to me. We had this backdrop and getting picture, after picture after picture. Yep. I think I had just taught a class on the main stage. And then shortly thereafter, after most people had disappeared, and we still had stuff going on, of course, but the initial, like, let's go take a picture with Ryan, it kind of ended. This nice girl walked up to me with her friend and said, hey, can you take a picture? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. Where do you want it to take it? And she's like, oh, over here. And she handed me the camera, and two of her friend went and asked me to take a picture of them. Talk about a humbling moment. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. I just, of course laughed, and I'm like, okay. And I went all in on the photos. Okay. 12 photos here. Okay. Show me love. I had a great time doing it, but I was, I was just in the mode where it was fine that those 5 minutes of fame had ended. And I'm like, okay, I'm back to being a real person now. But that was fun. Another thing you touched on, which I think is just so on point, is your routine. You have daily habits that are consistent. And that consistency is actually where you can actually really find out if something that is working or it's not working.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to know if it's working if you're not doing something consistently.
Exactly. I think like I said, I mean, it goes for everything. It goes for your business. It goes for Instagram. It goes for things like working out. Like, I just feel like I've established like a daily routine of just being as consistent as I can be. And I notice like when I fall out of those things, it's like I'm beating myself up for it, like, and then granted, like everyone is entitled to like a day off here and there, or having like a day to themselves. But I just really think that it changes your mindset.
Right. Yeah. I feel like a different person if I don't have my daily glass of wine at the end of the day.
I mean, I have to, I don't feel like my day was complete without my grapefruit White Claw. So
Exactly. So you know what I'm saying.
I totally get it.
But same thing. It's like that morning routine, where you talked about a strong morning routine where you get up, you work out, you feel better about it. It's I feel the same exact way when I don't work out or exercise or do something active in the morning. I feel more sluggish throughout the day, and I maybe eat a little worse. I snack a little more, maybe drink a little more wine that night than normal. So it's about the consistency of our habits and our routines that really shapes who we are. And then bold action, where you're stepping outside your comfort zone and doing that consistently. And like the last part you said was, you just got to post. You just got to post.
Got to go for it.
Yeah. And at first, nobody's going to care what you're posting anyways, because you're probably not going to have that many followers or people seeing you, and the algorithm's all screwed up now. So nobody's going to see it anyway, unless it's good. Right.
I mean, fun fact, like I was posting away when I started Instagram, well under 10,000 followers at the time. And you guys were the first people to ever recognize my work. I still remember like the photo, the client, like, and I remember like it being such like, it sounds so silly, but like such a monumental moment, because I had been like posting, and no big pages had reshared my work. And I remember like sitting on my couch one night, and I like see my post come up on Masters of Balayage, and I'm like jumping and screaming. And like, I was like so excited, because it's like the little wins too, like you're starting out, like you might not be getting awards, you might not be doing these things, but it's like, you don't want to compare yourself to other people, because we all started somewhere. Like I was jumping up and down screaming when I got reposted on Masters of Balayage. So,
Then it's funny, because that's what I love that. And that's why Masters of Balayage was actually started. I mean, one, I wanted to have a company named Masters of Balayage, but I started it because I wanted to create my own Pinterest board of inspiration. And I liked Instagram better than Pinterest. And I was just putting we were putting work up there, and I'm sure it was probably, I don't know who posted it, whether it was me or Jenny. Jenny probably took it over at that time. But your work, it was phenomenal. And I love, kudos to Jenny for always looking for people that weren't already the top in the industry. They weren't already the celebrity stylist. We were trying to give maybe people early that had less than 10,000 followers a boost or a shout out or some recognition. And I think it's so easy to overlook or not take the time to try to dig deeper into the industry to find those superstars that maybe don't have a huge following, because there are so many amazing stylists and people that just don't get that recognition, and they deserve it. So I'm glad that, I mean, I feel honored that you take this moment and share it over and over again, because the way you felt is the way I know you and I like other people and students to feel when we're teaching a class. Like, we want that to be maybe a core memory or a light bulb moment, depending on what we're doing. And that's what makes what we do worth it.
Yeah. I think, like, you know, like you said, I feel like I like to make people feel how I felt in that moment or in other moments. And I think, like, as an influencer in this industry, like, even like things like taking the time to respond to like your DMs, if somebody sends you a message or asks you a question, it's like, whether they have a lot of followers or a small following, I always try to, you know, be as responsive as I can with everyone. Cause I think like sometimes you don't realize it's something that small that can like change the course of someone's day or just how they feel about their career too, you know?
Right. And has blonding always been a huge passion of yours? Because blonding, balayage, that's kind of like your thing, your specialty, right? That
yes.
Your ideal client would be somebody that wants to be blonde or dimensional blonde or anything blonde, right?
Yeah. So I have always loved doing blondes, like really from when I started doing hair. And I kind of was at one point in a salon where I didn't really get a say in what I was doing, you know? So it was like, I just got whoever walked in, whoever called. It was kind of just luck of the draw. But once I went on my own, I took a class at 901 Academy, which kind of changed my outlook on the whole thing and how I built my clientele. So the girl that was teaching, it was like a very small social media segment. And she was like, why are you posting the things you don't want to do? And I was just like, wow, that makes so much sense. Why didn't I think of that? So like, you know, I went from posting like everything, like reds, color corrections, brunettes, that like, and then like, I just came back from that class and I was like, you know, it's okay that I have other clients that are getting different colors right now, but I'm only going to post blondes. And the second that I started just posting blondes and balayage, that was all I was getting back in my chair. And it was like a light bulb moment, because I was like, I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, but that's truly how I built my clientele. I never did any kind of advertising. I just posted on Instagram and I posted pretty much blonde, just all blonde hair.
Right. Yeah. I mean, funny. We just had Jill on recently from 901.
Oh yeah.
She's going to be there at Hero as well. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I don't know if Jill Buck like officially met, but I really admire all of those girls' work, and they were like a huge inspiration to me. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. They're amazing. I love them. And that was actually one of the first times I did a video, like an online video, was for their online.
I think I remember that actually.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was so nervous, and I was using Schwarzkopf, Blonde Me, and I used it a lot at that time, but I didn't realize how long it would be on the hair, and I was using. I really wanted to be blonde and make a name for myself, because I was like, "Oh, this is my moment." And the heat from the lamps and the lights and 30 volume. Yeah, I used 30 volume with Blonde Me, and it was dripping. I'm like, we got to take this off. Let's just cut for a second. Can I take a 5? Yeah. It came out great. Her hair came out great, but it would have fallen out if we didn't get it out in time. So that was that. But going back, yeah, you mentioned too, when you're on Instagram, to decide if you have a specialty that you want more of your clients to be like, and post what you want to see. That is so important. And I can relate to that myself. Remember, I don't know, 4 years ago when Vivids were just blowing up. It was like 2019, probably like 2018, 2019. Vivids. Everybody was doing Vivids, and it was. I mean, it's so cool, and there's still lots of people that do it.
Yeah.
But everybody was trying Vivids, even people that didn't do a lot of Vivids or bleach outs. And I dabbled with Vivids one day with one of my clients, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And I posted it, and it was on my feed with all my blondes and all my balayages. The next day I started getting calls for Vivids. I was like, oh shit.
You're like,
no, I'm not that good. No, I just had a fun, creative moment, and I don't want to do this because it's very uncomfortable to me. I want to go back in my lane. But yeah, it's like you put it out there, you're going to attract it. So be careful what you wish for in a way.
It's true. So true.
Yeah. So now you are, you're doing independent education. You're on stages. What's the plan? Are you gonna do another tour? Or are you doing collaborations here and there like we did? Like what's in store for 2025?
So I think definitely a focus on independent education for sure. Mm-hmm. I have actually talked to some artists that we've talked about collaborating. So I think that would be really cool. I mean, maybe
I haven't gotten the call yet. So,
I was about to say,
I'm sure it's maybe I haven't checked my voicemail in a while.
I'm going to throw it out there. Like maybe you and I will do another class together. No, actually that was like one of my favorite classes that I taught. So
that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've really wanted to put like a bigger focus on my independent education and kind of just building my brand. And, I don't know, like I also like, I have so many ideas in my head that I feel like I've had in my head for my brand for like the past, 2 years. And it's like, sometimes you just like push them to the side and you're like, oh, I'll do that another time. I'll do that another time.
Yeah.
So, but definitely independent education and definitely some fun collaborations.
Yeah.
And yes, Ryan, I'm asking it.
Well, I'll think about it.
Okay, right. Fair enough.
Yeah, of course I'm in. We can talk about something. That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it would be. I mean, you could go crazy with the name for your education. Just call it Chrissy Danielle Education.
I know. Like I might get wild and do that. Like it's so original. So
yeah.
I am like the queen of original names. Like I always said, like to this day, I think to myself, like never in a million years did I think I would have the success I had on Instagram. So when I started my Instagram, I was just like, oh, hair by Chrissy Danielle. Yeah. And then it wasn't until I hit like the 25,000 follower mark that I was like, I think I don't want to change my name now because like so many people know it. But then like I always think to myself, I'm like, man, I should have thought of a cooler name,
But why? Because what's funny too is a lot of people wish they had their name on it.
I know.
After they've gotten to a certain level, as opposed to being known as a pseudonym or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I actually, I mean, obviously it's grown on me.
Taylor Swift was taken. Right?
Yeah, that was the problem. Like I really wanted that, but you can't have everything. So
Chrissy Taylor Smith.
Exactly.
Taylor Swift. What am I saying? Swift. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's no secret.
It's the wine. It's the wine. It catches up to you. Yeah.
All 50 memes,
Totally. Oh man. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you have in store, and you've dabbled in the online market too, right? You've got some online courses.
I have. I definitely have dabbled in it. I need to get back at it. I think that it's a matter of like finding time. I think like this year for me, I had a lot of travel. The beginning half of the year I had a few independent classes. And yeah, it's just like I need more hours in the day, Well,
I think the government was actually thinking about extending the hours in a day. So we're going to try to get a further Earth's rotation around the sun so the days will lengthen.
Perfect.
So scientists are working on it. Yeah, so that we can actually work more during the day and sleep less.
But yeah, I definitely want to like expand on that more as well. And, just continue to provide like the quick education that I've always kind of had on my Instagram for people to have access at their fingertips and, just create great content and keep doing what I'm doing. And I hope that I can keep riding that wave. And
yeah, Yeah.
Because it's, teaching has become like such a passion of mine. So anytime I get the opportunity to be on stage or teach a class, it's truly like the best moments.
Mm-hmm. Well, just keep doing what you're doing, because I love your posts. It always pisses me off because you have so many a day. And I'm just like, how does she have the time? Because she talks about not having the time. And all of your posts, I just look at them and I'm just like, that's a brilliant post. Or even the simple ones are like, that's just great. It always has a value message attached to it. It's not, sometimes it's just pretty hair, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it goes many steps beyond that, or shows like this is a baby light versus a teasy light versus this, and your photography and the way you show the poses. And what was the thing I saw today was the hip dip, or the hip, what's it called? What's it called? No, the hip dip, something different.
The hip hinge.
The hip hinge, yeah.
We call it the hip dip, whatever works.
Well, the hip dip is like the thing in the side of the hips, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's like never overthink your content. Just keep it simple. And when I start overthinking it, I can't come up with stuff. So
right. And then you just get better and better at knowing what works and what doesn't, right? Because
absolutely,
it's one thing for you to say, Miss Expert Poster, to say like, oh, just post. But every one of your posts is like, 100% perfect.
I will say, like a hot tip for anyone struggling with posting consistently on Instagram is like go into your insights and look at your best performing post or content. And if you haven't posted in a while, repost it, because nobody's going to remember.
Good
you
idea.
have new followers that will see it, but also it gives you a little bit of a guide to know what performs well on your page. So
that's a good idea.
I do that a lot, just to see like, what is my audience liking? Like, what do I need to put more of out there?
That makes sense. Yeah. And actually do some active work to find out what's working, what's not, instead of just complaining about not having the time to post. Right. And then, and then it becomes next week and next month and next year, and you're still having saying the same things and not actually doing anything about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I like to keep people always wanting more. So this conversation I had a lot of fun today.
Me too.
It was very enjoyable, very funny, very enjoyable. And you have so many amazing points and success stories and lessons to teach. And I'm glad you were able to share them today.
Thank you so much. And
you got it
for, always being a mentor and a friend to me. So
you got it. Oh, well, I'll help you with the online stuff too, because I've gotten pretty good at that.
It's a deal.
Yeah.
I can
all right. Well,
you help me with that.
Sounds good. We'll talk about a class. We'll launch it soon.
All right.
If you're listening to this, just wait for that, because it's going to be epic, like the last one was.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, and thank you again, Chrissy. It was a great time to talk.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thanks for tuning in to Hair Hero. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more listeners just like you. And don't forget to screenshot this episode and share it on Instagram, tagging us at Masters of Balayage. We'd love to see your posts and share them. Until next time, remember, be bold, be brave, be you. See you in the next episode.